So Dr. Stewart and the team found out this, that when a person dies, the energy which goes away from the body. So then they concluded that our scripture is right, the Atma is right. So there is an Atma, there is an energy, that potency, that which within everybody. This is the way that our scripture reveals. It's very powerful. Our scriptures are so powerful, so scientific, so scientific. Even Germany, this is many years back, they have a photography called Kirlian photography. How many of you heard about it? Have you heard about it? This photography called Kirlian photography. The Kirlian photography, that which is work as per the magnetic effect of the, is based on. So it can detect that the energy level which comes out, every person has that energy level is different. Have you noticed that? So spiritually potent person, that energy level is so, so enhanced. That's why some people, when they look at their face, you'll be easily attracted to them. You'll be easily connected to them. They have some kind of called charisma. When they come, everything changes. All atmosphere changes. It's called aura or charisma. So many things. So the spiritually elevated person has it. They have potency. So they are entirely different. So they have this camera, they took this camera, they captured some kinds of the photographs of the body as well as the head. Ordinary person and the spiritually elevated potent person is entirely different. That we can say that the rings around, the light around is effulgent. They are effulgent. So sometimes devotees comes. We can see that, Why? It is because of we can develop, we can enhance the internal potency. So that's our Atma, that's our spirit soul. So the point I was trying to make is that Atma is not a myth. Spirit soul is not a myth. It is a fact. So it is all depends upon how do we understand and realize this fact. So we all know that our Atma, which is dormant pretty much for common person, and everything else, our mind, senses, intelligence, everything is so prominent. So why it is like this? Why it is like that? We are so much attached to our senses. We are so much attached to our mind. Mind always, good, bad, sankalpa, vikalpa, sankalpa, and I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll not do this. Always accept and reject it, accept and reject it. This is the nature of the mind. It's not straight. It's very much agitated. All the time, goes all the directions. All the time, goes all the directions. You cannot even focus. You cannot even chant properly. Even though we try our level best, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, then what happens? Goes away. This is our nature. And this is the nature of the mind. Why mind behaves like that? Why? Have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about it? So this mind is predefined. A person takes a birth. So it carried or it's brought all the past lives impressions in the mind. It's called settled body. All the past lives impressions are there in the body. That means when a soul passes, along with the soul, what happens? The settled body also goes along with it. Have you know that this fact, right? You know this fact. What is settled body? What is subtle body? Mind, intelligence, and ego. Mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahangar. Ahangar, that the I concept of it. So basically, with the mind and intelligence and the senses, generally concept as sixth sense is the mind. So senses are also included. So everything works together in such a way that, so we created an impressions in the mind about us, what we are. And what happens is called vasana. In the Sanskrit, it's called vasana. You know what is vasana means? What is vasana means? Desire, yes, vasana. But there is another meaning also called vasana. Smell, the fragrance. The smell, the fragrance. If you smell the jasmine, it has its own vasana, its own fragrance. If you smell a rose, it has its own. So similarly, like each person has this vasana. And which where is come from? From our previous life. So we create that impressions. So we behave accordingly. We behave accordingly. So all these are under, Krishna says that mind, intelligence and ego, bhumi, rapo, nalo, vayu, kam, mano, buddhi, rivacha. Ahangara vidhiyame. Mano, buddhir, ahangar. Kam, mano, buddhi, rivacha. Bhinna prakriti rashtadaha, my inferior energy. My separated energy. So, but beyond that, apareya vidastu manyam prakritim vidime param, jiva bhuda, mahabaho. Apareyam, beyond this material, lower, inferior energy, there is a superior energy. What is that superior energy? Jiva. What is that called? Atma. Spirit, soul. Beyond this. Okay? So now two different things we are speaking. So within us also, these two energy levels are there. You understand? You are getting this? Two different energy levels are there even within our body. Within us. What are those two? Yes. What are how we call it as? Jivatma, marginal potency, or Jiva, or that's why the spirit soul, the marginal potency is incompatible with the superior nature. It belongs to the superior nature. But all the other energies that we have within us is actually inferior potency, inferior nature. Krishna says, my inferior nature. So how do we see it? How do we understand this? So there is a superior energy and there is an inferior energy. So inferior energy is temporary. Inferior energy is temporary. That means Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam. That means earth, water, fire, air, ether is in our body. Isn't it? You agree? You agree with me? It is there, Panchabhutas. So what happens to Panchabhuta when a person dies? What happens to Panchabhuta? It goes back to its original source. We have fire within us. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva. Fire is there. But fire goes back to the fire. Earth goes back to all our bones and all flesh. It's part of the earth. It's come from the earth anyway. The food and the grains and all this, developed. It goes back to the earth. Water within us, where it goes? It goes to the water. And then air, we have air. Where it goes to the air. And ether, right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Akash, within us also that also goes back. But this is the inferior nature, the temporary nature of that Panchabhuta. But along with that, the subtle body or Sushma Sharir, it's called the Sthula Sharir is what? This is all Panchabhutas. And the Sushma Sharir is what we call it as subtle body. Then what happens to subtle body? Subtle body goes along with the Atma. Subtle body goes along with the Atma. So subtle body absorbs everything. Whatever we do, subtle body absorbs. So we use our mind. Along with the mind, who else? Who works? Senses. Senses works. Senses are kind of a servants for the mind. Something we get into the mind, okay, wonderful. So then we put our senses, okay, go and grab it, go and grab it. Intelligence works together. Somehow or other I will get it. By hook or crook, right? By hook or crook. Who decides that? Intelligence. By hook or crook, intelligence decides that mind, senses all works together. And then what happens? We develop a Sushma Sharir like that. Subtle body. That's why it's called subtle body. It accumulates everything. It keeps everything. So, a person develops like that, a body. A person develops a body like that. That's called Sushma Sharir. What it means? Sharir means it carries. Right? That's why Sushma Sharir. So it carries everything. Sthula Sharir carries these all elements. Similarly, Sushma Sharir also carries whatever that the impressions we created in this life. Then based on that, we get a body, we get a birth accordingly. So this is what is Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dehino asmin yada dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara dada dehantara praptar dhiras tatrana mukhyadi. Person develops a body accordingly. Get a body accordingly. The spirit soul, the embodied soul, passing from the boyhood to the youthhood, youthhood to old age, similarly at the time of death, goes to the another body. A jiva has taken a birth, sure has to die, and one has died, sure has to take birth again. This is Bhagavad Gita says. So it's very important. Very, very important that understanding this, our original identity, who we are, and we are forgetting that. That is our misfortune. That's complete misfortune. We have this human form to realize this and understand this, that who we are. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mayadhyakshena prakrite suyade sacharacharam hedunanena kaunteya jagat vibari vartade. Mayadhyakshena prakrite. Under my superintendence, Mayadhyakshena prakrite suyade sacharacharam. This material nature is working under my superintendence. I am the cause of all. Hedunanena kaunteya. Jagat vipari vartade. This entire creation, entire cosmic, entire universe is working under my superintendence. Anybody can explain how that is? Can anybody say that how that? Okay, we may say, oh, Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan. He is the personality of Supreme Lord. He doesn't have nothing to do with this material nature. It's true, one sense. He has nothing to do with this material nature, but at the same time, Krishna says that I'm under my superintendence. I'm the cause. Everything works in this world. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataka sarvam pravartate. Krishna says. Everything, the spiritual and the material, everything is emanating from me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. This is where we have to understand this spiritual and the material devotees. So we have to realize this, we have to understand this. Spiritual is ever existing. Spiritual is eternal. Spiritual is full of potency. Spiritual is full of knowledge. Krishna says, from me comes remembrance, from me comes knowledge, from me comes forgetfulness even. Knowledge comes. So, spiritual, Krishna is all the jiva or the spiritual entity or the spiritual part, whatever we call it as, anything which is in relationship with the Krishna or the spirit soul or the spirit, it has all original nature of that Supreme. All original nature of that Supreme. So, but we are under the illusion. We are under the spell of this material energy. So, material energy overcome. Material energy completely overtake us. Completely overtook. So, we are actually under the spell of this material energy. So, we don't realize it. But the spiritual spark, the spiritual energy, that the jiva is dormant, is not really come out, he is not really exploring himself. So as long as we are under the spell of this material energy, then we are subject to be in this material world. Is it clear? Is it clear? So then there was some, in the earlier, one devotee asked this question, what is this material energy? What is this Maya? What is this material energy? Anybody can answer? What is this material energy? And how it is function? And how it is impacting us? How it is coming to us? And what is the importance of that material energy? How it comes to us? Why it is coming to us? Anybody? This material energy. We are pretty much completely under the spell of material energy, no doubt into that. Isn't it?
Senses. Through senses, yeah.
Okay, that's partially true. Anybody else? Durga Devi, yes. She is the controller of this material energy. But I'm saying that, I'm asking that, so what is the difference? Or what is this material energy? Or how do you feel it? Have you ever felt that I am in the material energy? Have you felt it? I'm going through this. When you get a pain, when you get a pleasure, you're so much overjoyed in this world. And next moment you are feeling that over distressed, disappointment. There is so much of anxiety, so much of eagerness, so much of hankering, so much of, attachment, so much of passion, so much of anything that which, based on, or you are in the center, self-centric, anything that which we think, anything that which you come out of it, anything that which you are completely covered by it, is all the spell, the influence of the material energy. All by the influence of material energy. Anything that which you are putting through your senses, you can completely, decide that this is because of the material energy. Anything using your mind, this is for your own selfish purpose, your own self-centric activities. We are under the spell of, under the material energy. Anything you think, today I can go to this restaurant, I can enjoy the food, under the material energy. When there is Krishna Katha or the holy name, oh no, I have so many other things to do. Let me go here, let me watch this. IPL is going on right now. But is it going?
I
don't know.
Oh, whatever it is. We are under the material energy. So what is the result of that all? I mean, pretty much everybody, 99.9999%. The people are in this world completely under the spell of this material energy.
We are in superior energy right now.
Right now, yes.
Moment.
The moment, yes. But immediately after you close the door, just go out,
Welcome to me.
welcome to, yes,
But even if you are here and you're thinking something, then
something else. You are under the spell of material energy.
I think probably this is something that they have mentioned. I think in first canto I was going through about rasa actually, that even demigods as well as living entities
Yes.
are under the influence of 12 rasas, where 5 of them they say is towards the transcendence connection, and the rest 7 is for us like generally, which is like Raudra.
That- Yes, that's a very detailed study of it.
When
but
I
this
think
is-
I'm correlating with
yeah.
what you're mentioning,
Yeah, this-
how we feel that.
How do you feel it? Yes. This is the basic understanding that we should understand this. So we should not mix. So many people don't understand this difference. They think that this is it. Okay, let me chant the holy name at the same time thinking something else. So where are you now? You are under the spell of Maya, material energy. You are reading something and chanting or doing something. Where are you? You are under the spell of Maya. You're watching something and doing, then again, you are under the spell of Maya. So anything that which we utilize for the selfish or sense gratification, your mind, intelligence, and ego, everything comes in place. So what happens? Understand that Maya is attacked to you. Understand that this is Maya's influence. So what is happening? Maya is dragging you away from Krishna. Right? The material, Maya means, always remember, material energy. Okay? Why it is called Maya? Why material energy is called Maya?
Because of illusion.
Yes. It creates an illusion. It makes you think that this is real. But actually, in reality, it is not real. It's unreal. You understand this? What is another nature of material energy? Okay, let's discuss. It's a wonderful topic. What is another nature of the material energy?
spiritual.
It is temporary. Okay? Material nature, material energy is what? Temporary. What is another aspect of nature of the material energy? You all learned it. You all can understand it, realize it. What is another nature of the material energy?
Senses gratification.
It creates dualities. What is duality means? What is duality means? Huh?
Always
Sankalpa
have
and
two
vikalpa.
sides.
Is sankalpa and vikalpa, pain and pleasure. As long as you think that, okay, I am so happy, next moment you are in distress. And after the distress, you think that, then you come to your happiness position. If there is pleasure, think that there is pain on it. There is a fire. What is the nature of the fire? What are the other subproduct of the fire? Byproduct?
Heat.
Heat and the smoke. Right? Think that there is a fire, naturally there is a smoke. Without fire, there is no smoke. Similarly, material nature has this, the effects, dualities, temporary. It's never eternal, material energy. It's always temporary. That's why we can see that this material world, it has a birth and it has a death. So how long this material energy stays? How long? How long?
Temporary.
Temporary. I mean, what that temporary means. Even we can say maximum 1 day of Brahma or 1 lifetime of Brahma. But still it is, what is that? What is that one complete lifetime of Brahma? It is just like blinking the eyes of Mahavishnu. So this is it. When a Mahavishnu just opened the eyes, blink an eye, That's it. That's the time frame lifespan of Brahma. What is the lifespan?
I think
311 trillion 40
yeah.
billion is the lifespan of Brahma. That is just like blinking an eye of Mahavishnu. Or just like a inhaling and exhaling. That's it. How much time you take to inhale and exhale? When Mahavishnu inhale, everything goes back to his body. When Mahavishnu exhale, his soul comes out. So science say black holes and so many other things, everything goes back to one point. Then from that one point, it stays there for some long years. Nobody can see anything, and anything which goes never comes back. And after some years, some long years, it's again come out from it. This is the concept that science says to us. But on the other hand, the similar way, we have the scripture, we have the Bhagavatam says that the body of Mahavishnu lies down in his entire casual ocean, and from the body of Mahavishnu, each universe comes out, stays there for some time, and goes back to the Mahavishnu. This is the material nature. Temporary, and the byproduct which creates all the dualities, which is flickering. It's flickering in the sense that it will not stay there. And it creates all kinds of desires. Who creates this? All the sense perceptions, desires. So these modes of material nature, we will see that in the Bhagavad Gita quite later in the chapters. That was the one, Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunakarmani Gunaka Sarvashaha Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham Iri Manyate. So Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunakarmani Guna Gunakarmani Bhagasya Karta Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaham Iri Manyate. Ahankar, by the false ego, that ahankar, we think that what happens? That I am the doer of everything. Is the influence of what? Prakriti Kriyamanani. The modes of material nature. Under the spells of modes of material nature. Prakriti Kriyamanani Gunakarmani Sarvasya. So this is very important in the world. So material nature is temporary. So material nature is temporary in nature, is flickering, and it is just for some short while. But within that material nature, there is a superior nature. Or we can say that within that superior nature, there is a inferior nature. So ourself is nothing but that we are, what we are? We are actually Jivatma. So when the Jiva comes into this material world, then it takes the covering of it. Right? It takes the covering of it. It's like something goes into the fire. What happens? It becomes the fire. Similarly, when it comes to the material world, we adopt all the qualities of this material nature. Then what we do? Then accordingly we start to behave. Accordingly we start to behave. What mode we are, come into, what mode we took birth. Somebody takes birth in the mode of ignorance, so they act accordingly. Very ignorant fool. Somebody is so attached, very aggressive. They are in the mode of passion. Some are very good. Who are they? In the mode of goodness. So this is material nature, and in order to maintain this material nature, that's why there is Brahma, Vishnu and Lord Shiva. Brahma is the predominant deity of or controller of the mode of passion. Shiva is the controller of mode of ignorance or tamoguna. And the Vishnu is the controller of the sattva guna or the mode of goodness. So there are controllers. It's not that just goes like everything has control. That's why Krishna says that indirectly that He controls everything. Who is the supreme controller? Sarva Karana Karanam. Who is the cause of all the causes? The Supreme Lord Krishna. So this is what it is we need to understand. There is a supreme potency, and we are belongs to that supreme potency. That's why Krishna says that Mamme Vamsho Jiva Bhule Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. All living entities are my eternal part and parcel. So this is what is they found out. These scientists found out. What is that? This potency, the jiva which leaves the body, and this is belongs to that supreme. And whatever the inferior, that our body, the earth, water, fire, air, that goes to that, and the subtle body goes along with the jiva, and then take a birth again as per the impression that created, as per the vasana that created, as per the karma they accumulated. Accordingly, a person gets birth. There were Radhashyam Prabhu in Pune, temple president. He has a book. I read this one. There was a scientist, forgot the name. He was researching, he was finding out the reincarnation and what happens to 3,000 cases he studied. 3,000, more than 3,000 cases he studied. About what happens, why is this reincarnation, and who gets the body, how this birth take place and everything. There was somewhere, I think that I read this one, either in CNN or Times of India, Uzbekistan or Croatia or some places of it. A person killed, and they were friends, with some, dispute of some kind of money problem, some business or something like that. The another person killed this person and buried completely, nobody knew. And then, later it was, and understood that, this person has been killed, somebody or something like that. So the person who was buried under, he took a birth in another town. He took a birth. So he could recollect everything what has happened. What was happened in his past life. So he was little older, and he told to a police officer, this person killed me, I was in the past life, I was this. And he was insisting, this police officer, that I was killed in my last life by this person. And I was buried in these places. And this boy took that police officer and they dig down there, and they could see that the skeleton of the body underneath, and they did the test and all, and they found out that this was the same person, and this boy was talking. And they arrested that those who they killed that the person. How is it all possible? Don't minimize, don't undermine and underestimate our scripture and what is revealed to us. Everything is scientific, everything is perfect. All we need is we need to have that kind of will and the mind to understand this and apply it in our life. This is for our perfection. And think about that. Where did we come from and where are we going? After some years we won't be here. But we are here right now as a reality. We are right now here as a reality, as a human. Maybe after one Brahma's day or Brahma's life, would anybody say that there was a person was sitting there in the name of Avinash Prabhu sitting there in this 7 Hastings Road? Anybody will know? No. But Lord knows everything. This is that potency, that spiritual, that supreme potency. So we are right now is the reality. We could remember, we could understand, we could perceive, we could see that I am a human. We can say that I am so and so, I am so and so. But the most important aspect is that what is my original identity, what is my original nature. That's what is we have to understand. So this human form of life is our best opportunity and most fortunate the form of life. Only in this human form of life that, dear devotees, we can perceive this. In no other form of life. Sometimes I think that what kind of form we have? 2 hands, right? Think about that. We say aliens comes, right? Have you ever thought that how aliens think about us?
Yeah.
We put some nice forms of it. Nice eyes, nice, kind of head and that, this, those. We put it. But how do they see us?
You're right, Prabhu. I was also thinking maybe for them we are aliens.
We are aliens. For them, we are aliens.
Yeah, they would be thinking what kind of creature are they?
What kind of creatures are this?
Yeah, you're
There are
right.
animals with 4 legs, right? There are some with 1,000 legs. What kind of this world is this? Have you ever thought of this? This is the reality. This is where that we have to realize this. What is so? The reality is this fact: we are living now. That's it. We are living now. We have a life, or we have a soul.
It's like we are leaving now and we are leaving soon.
Yes, we are living now. So, that moment that we are here as reality, this is where all that we have to think about it. Utilize it. Utilize how? If you are utilizing our senses, mind and intelligence, everything for the self-satisfied, self-centric activities and sense gratification, again and again, you'll get another body. Maybe depends upon what you are accumulating in your life. Maybe I'm so much interested to, enjoy this world. It can become another form of that which you desire, which you wanted to have. And what is the use of all this? As Prahlad Maharaj says that, Puna charvida charvanam, chewing the chewed again and chewing the chewed. Life after life after life after life, and we are here in this material world and entangled here in this material world and entangled here is the material energy. That's why I just brought up that point of material energy. As Krishna says that, Devi yesha gunamayi mamaya dhurataya mameve prapadyande maya evamantarandite. Krishna said, Devi yesha gunamayi, these modes of material consist of my energy. My energy. It's all Krishna's energy. All these modes of material nature consist of my energy. It's very difficult to overcome. We are completely under the spell of this material energy, dear devotees. Completely under the spell of material energy. Very difficult to overcome. And you all know that and we all know that. Isn't it true? You all know that. As soon as we see some rasagula, oh my God, it's wonderful. Let me enjoy. We never think that whether it is offered to Krishna or not. All we think that time, the tongue. Isn't it? All the thing that we think that time, as soon as you hear a rasagula or a gulab jamun, what we think about? Only the taste of it. That's it. Nothing else. Isn't it true, right? Anything is so everything now shut down. So as soon as this is our vasana, this is our impression. As soon as we see, we are completely then blind. Everything else becomes so blind. Somehow or other, I saw that people. The moment we say it's going to over, the person in the back jump over at the front. Didn't think anything else. He pushed everybody else. He's in the front right now. I need to get that the last piece of it, no matter what. Isn't it true?
Yes.
So eager. So eager. Everything else shut down that time. Consciousness doesn't work. What is needed that? I need it, no matter what. Everything closes down. All the thing that with the tongue, the taste, and so powerful. It's so powerful, and then what happens? You don't think anything, you will get extra power. If you decided to do something, right? You notice that. Suppose you think that somebody is coming your home in 15 minutes. Somebody is coming in your home 15 minutes. You will be done, your house will be cleaned in 15 minutes, no matter what. Isn't it true? But all the other day, if you think that I want to clean the house for, all day you think it will not happen. It will not be completed. But the moment you think that, this is called. So the moment you dedicate, it will happen like this. Is the nature it works. It makes you such a way that everything else, then what happens that time? You have the focus. You have complete focus. You need to do it. You've shut down everything else. Now you don't have any other thoughts. You don't have anything else. Only thought is that, okay, let me do it. So this is called the consciousness, the ekagra. That's the focus. So when you have the focus, you do it. So you get energy, you get everything. You then forget everything. You don't have lethargic, you are not tired, you are not anything. You think that, I didn't eat anything. You don't think anything else. Isn't it true? You are focused completely that let me do this, everything. So everything shut down now. Where does it come from? This is the way this material world works. But on the spiritual side, the moment we chant, do we have that attitude? Do we have that kind of consciousness? No. The moment we start to chant, everything comes into this. Everything opens. Isn't it? Everything opens. When the moment you started to chant, everything opens. Your mind, your eyes, somebody speak there, your eyes will go, now, what this person is saying. So when you are chanting, somebody is cooking inside the kitchen. What a delicious, wow. The smell, get it. Somebody says something, your eyes are there, your ears are there. Or somebody passing, okay, who is that? While chanting, I'm chanting. Everything opens that time. But on the other side, when you are because this is where that we are our nature. This is our nature. See that the difference? So now this is the material nature and this is the spiritual. Now we have to shift that. We have to shift that. The moment you hear Krishna, everything else should shut down. Only that focus now has to hear and that Krishna. Me and Krishna. Everything else. So we have to completely turn everything in 360 degree or 180 degree, we say. Now that's where we goes out from this material world. Krishna says, Devi Yetshagunamaya Mamaya Durataya Mameve Prabhadyande. Only by come to me and worship me, then only he can come out. So, dear devotees, so we have to slowly elevate our Krishna consciousness. That means we have to elevate, we have to be with that Krishna, we have to be with that our spiritual potency, but we are not there now. So that's why we have to hear the first and the foremost. Then we have to work on it, we have to apply that in our life. The moment you hear about Krishna, we are with Krishna. The moment you hear about the names of Krishna, Krishna's name has completely a spiritual potency. There is nothing to do with material potency. When we offer something to Krishna, that's become spiritual. So this is the difference between material and the spiritual. When you cook something, and if it is not offered to Krishna, that is material. But it is offered to Krishna, that becomes spiritual. I use this mic, it is just for the musical entertainment purpose, this is material. But the moment that I use this for the Krishna's purpose is spiritual. So similarly, dear devotees, we can transform all this material to spiritual. So the moment we use our ears to hear Krishna, it is now, before that it was material completely, now what will happen? It becomes spiritual. So this is the way it works. The spiritual energy and the material energy works like this. So we know that the spiritual energy is within us, which is dormant. But if you just fan it, like a fire, there is a fire pit. How do you make the fire in a fire pit? Everybody must have done this. Right? You put some wood, right? You put some and you just put little fire underneath. You don't put entire fire on it, you just put little fire underneath, maybe little ghee wicks or whatever it is. What happened then? What? You just fan it. Right? You just fan it so that slowly it catch fire. It get fire. Then what happens? Finally, it get full fire, in full form. So similarly, so we have that spiritual spark within us. That's called spiritual soul, spirit soul or a jiva. That's spiritual spark. So now what we need to do? So now we have to fan it. We have to give some, to that its flames. So how do we can do that? So with our ears, with our nose, with our tongue, with our eyes, with our mind, with our intelligence, with our senses, everything when you utilize in the service of Krishna, what happens? Now that spiritual potency completely overtake. The spiritual potency now come in full form. So then what happens? Now our inclination towards this material, now material energy cannot come to and take place. So that's why Krishna says into the Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shojati na kamshati samaha sarva bhutanam mad bhakti labade param. That Brahma Buddha, this state is called Brahma Buddha state. Now he is now out from this material energy. So he comes to that state, Brahman, Brahma Buddha state. Brahma Buddha Prasannatma na shojati na kamshati. There is no lamentation. There is no hankering. There is no anxiety. And he is Prasannatma. Brahma Buddha Prasannatma is completely content and satisfied. But on the other hand, a person who is completely, we know that in this world, a person is so much attached to this material world is the most suffering person. Isn't true? You agree with me? And a person who's so attached to that, he is the one who is most suffering in this world. This is the nature of material world. And which gives you that so much the way that we attach to the material world, that much he gets back, he gets trashed from the material world. This is a lesson for us. This is the nature of the material world. That means we are completely under the spell of this material world and we get all this, suffering. That's why Krishna says that we should not attach to this material world too much and it gives us suffering. Gives us suffering no matter what. Janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha darshanam. Dukkha dosha darshan. This is material world is anyways full of suffering no matter what. So this is where that we have to realize our original identity. That spirit soul. So dear devotees, the moment we come out from these material clutches, material entanglement, we are right now in the material entanglement. We cannot control ourselves. We cannot control our tongue. We cannot control our ears. We cannot control our body. We cannot control anything. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jihva vegam udara upastha vegam yada vegan. Right? Nectar of instruction, first verse. We have to control our tongue, control our belly, control our body, control our nostrils, senses. We have no control at all. Anybody has some control? Over here? No control at all. Mind is everywhere. Senses, as soon as see something, goes there. And even if you try to control for 1 week, 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month, it goes back again. This is a material, so difficult. Chanchalehi mana Krishna prabalam dridham, Arjuna says. It's very difficult to control the mind. Very difficult. It's not easy. But Krishna says, Abhyasa yoga yuktena vairagena briyade. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. We have to practice, dear devotees. I'm telling you this fact because of this, the most confidential understanding and knowledge. Our human form of life is going to go in few years, or who knows when it is. But the reality, the fact is that now with the human form of life, we can realize and we can perceive this. We can perceive this. It's okay, I'm fine now. It's okay, no worries. You are hearing it, so we can perceive this, isn't it? Right? With this human form of life, only that we can perceive and we can understand it. Something is telling you, someone is telling you that there is a big fire pit. Go and jump it. What will you do? What will you do? There is a big fire. You go and jump. You will not jump. Why? You will.
Our body.
Yes, you will be
Burn.
burnt. You will be burnt to death. This same condition Krishna is telling to Arjuna, Krishna is telling to us that this material world is this one and you're dying here. That's called mrityu. That's called marana. You are dying in this is the poison, you are in a material ocean. You are bhava sagara. You are sinking in this material ocean. But what we do? No mind.
We don't listen.
No mind, never mind. I'm going to jump into anyway. I'm going to jump in anyway, no matter what. So we die. That's called mrityu, maranam. Mrityu means what? Death means what? Nothing else, that we are losing ourselves. We are losing our this human form of life. That's why we are called martya. Why martya? Because of mrityu is the prominent factor for in this life. Mrityu. The devotees, this is so wonderful, so scientific. All we need to do is that nothing but to realize this and understand this. The human form of life is going to diminish in one day, but we have that the human form of life is right now ready as it is now here. As it says there, right? The past is like the cancelled check, right? Right? What is that? Whatever is in the past is like a cancelled check. There is no use for anything like. Now tomorrow, what is that? Tomorrow is a promissory note. It's a promissory note, right? But it cannot encash it today. It's a promissory note. But today is a ready cash. Today is you have, this youth you have, this human form of life you have intelligence you have, somewhere you have some knowledge about the scriptures, about this wonderful aspect, some way or other that you have. Some way or other that you have some food. Some way or other you have some shelter to live. Some way or other you can pull this life, without much struggle. But we don't think that all this is for this one important factor. To realize that Supreme. Realize that the source that we come from. Realize our Supreme Father. Realize that, that I am belongs to that Lord. My material nature pulls me down in this material world, and it gives me so much of suffering. Every life after life after life after life after suffering only. But the moment that we utilize this human form of life to understand, realize and utilize for that, and from that material platform to the spiritual platform, inferior energy to the superior energy, material energy to the spiritual energy. That is why we are called marginal potency. We have that choice. We have that will, we have that choice. We can go to the material energy. We can go to the spiritual energy. That's why we are called marginal potency, Tadastha Shakti. We have that option. Jiva, all the jivas have that option. We have marginal, we have Tadasthada, we are on the bank. So we are on the bank of the ocean, shore of the ocean. Either we can jump into the ocean or you can come back to the land. Which one do you want to prefer? Which one? You want to jump into the ocean? That means you are jumping into this material world. So we have our mercy of the Guru, Srila Prabhupada, Acharyas and the devotees and the Krishna, the directly giving us this. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant. Ignorance is our root cause of suffering in this world. Ignorance is the root cause of our suffering in this world. The moment we switch this gear, okay? The moment we switch our gear, that means what? Switch our consciousness. So until now we were so much materially conscious. Now dear devotees, take a little bit. Okay, at least some of your time on this 24 hours. Some hours off, some few moments off. To realize, to be with that supreme energy, to be with that supreme Lord, our life will transform. Life will transform. So we may be going down to this different world, the lower, species of life, not remembering the Lord, not understanding the Lord, not doing anything for that. We are completely accumulating all this dirt, right? All this dirt. The spiritual process is nothing but taking us away from this, taking us completely out from this, the material dirt or the material energy. We are sinking into this material dirt with so much of our activities. The spiritual process is nothing but taking us from that material energy or material platform to our spiritual platform. So what happens to such people? That's very important. What happens to such people? Those who are completely spiritual. So instead of they are going down to this material world again, they completely spiritualized. They attain that their spiritual nature. And it is our scripture says that there are two natures in this world. Spiritual nature, material nature. It's called Tripada Vibhuti, Nekapada Vibhuti. Material nature is just 1/4 of it. But 3/4 is completely spiritual nature. Completely spiritual nature. The moment we completely transform, like something when you put on a fire, what happens? After some time, it to become a fire too. So similarly, when we slowly come in contact, that's called yoga, dear devotees, anyway. Yoga. When we come in contact with this spiritual potency, spiritual nature, we also completely, that's why Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Vairagyena. So slowly, we will come out from this material energy. And we will completely become what? Spiritual energy. That means we'll be completely purified. Our original identity is now what? We are spiritual, we are completely spiritual now. We were contaminated before, now we are purified. Contaminated with what? All these material qualities, dualities, problems, suffering, sensual, mental. Now we are steady. Now what is? We are steady with whom? The Krishna consciousness. That's why Srila Prabhupada put the Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness. So ultimately, dear devotees, this is the bodha. This is the last thing which leaves the body. What? The bodh. And what is the symptom of life? What is the symptom of soul exists? What is the symptom of it? Consciousness. Bodham. That's why Srila Prabhupada put Krishna avabodham. Krishna consciousness. Krishna avabodham. So what is that? So when we transform ourselves from the material avabodha to Krishna conscious or Krishna avabodha, what happens? We can attain that spiritual nature. You are getting in that? That's why that Vaikunta that we say, the scripture says that Vaikunta means there is no anxiety. Kunda means anxiety. Vaikunta means there is no anxiety at all. We enter to that. So this is what he says that when it leaves the body that it passes, and our scriptures reveals the same thing. Garuda Puran says that the moment a person passes the body, it does not just You'll not live just like that. See, there is prana within us. The spirit soul is there. The prana means Shakti. Pran means Shakti. Why? That's why we are inhaling this prana vayu. There are 5 kinds of vayu that which goes inside, which controls our entire body. Prana, samana, udana, vyana, apana. The same, which all this we inhales that, it's also another energy. Mind is an energy. Senses is an energy. Intelligence is an energy. Only the thing is that how it functions and the soul and the whatever is actually it controls. Like you know that a computer, how the computer works. There is a small chip, right? Is always working inside. Right? A small battery within the computer is always working. Even if you switch off the computer, it's working. Isn't it? And then when you switch on, then everything else gets the energy, get the power, current. Similarly, the soul is there and is always there and it gives that. But only the thing is that when you put on or off, when you want it, and you utilize it. So this is the way that we should always remember this. So we can completely transform this material nature to that spiritual nature. Then what happens? We will be always into that spiritual nature. This is ultimately, this is the science of it. This is the essence of all the scriptures. Take us somehow from this material, the lowest inferior nature to that superior nature. You are getting that? Yes.
So, what you said that from going from the material energy to the spiritual energy, we
Yes.
have a choice, right?
We have a choice.
So my question is that isn't it it is because of the Lord Krishna's kripa we are going there, or do we have a choice, or it's the wish of the Lord Krishna?
Yes. So when we have,
Because it's
yeah.
it's like complex to understand, like whether
Exactly.
it's the one or this one.
Yes, this is a good point. So this is why we have this free will, the choice that we have. All that we have is that's the free will, that the choice that we can select. So the moment we think that, okay, I want to be with the material world, okay, you be with the material world. Krishna provides everything. That's why this material world is even created. The moment we think that, okay, no, I got enough. I got enough trash in this material. I got enough. Now I need, okay, let me put some will. Okay, now Lord, please allow me to do something. Please take me out from these material clutches. Oh Lord, please, I am suffering. I'm got enough. Please do something for me. So slowly that what happens, we develop that taste, and then now we have the faith in the Lord. Now Lord is only can save me. Lord only can protect me. Lord only can, give me that. So we have some faith, some consciousness. Some way or other, somebody tells us you connect something. You come to some mercy, we get it. So slowly what happens, our heart changes now. Okay, now we come to the Lord. Oh Lord, please save me. Please, give me something. So now what happens? Lord, intervene. Now this devotee, this soul is coming to me. Let me do something. So this is called free choice. So it's the moment we do that, that's why by the mercy of Lord we get a devotee. By the mercy of the devotee we get Krishna. By the mercy of Lord, so it's mercy of the Lord anyway, but the choice should come from us. That's a free will. That's all we have. We have to, so that's why Krishna says, surrender unto me. So that choice, we should have that choice. Now, okay, I got enough. Now some way or other. And give Lord also, and when a sincere soul, when a sincerity is there, then what happens? Lord also makes the arrangement that the soul can come to me. So that's where we have this spiritual masters, Guru, Lord sends to this world. He is very merciful. He is very compassionate. The Lord sends His great devotees and the spiritual masters and the souls, great souls to bring to this world. Somehow or other, this soul goes here. So like Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling to Nityananda Prabhu, go out and tell everyone about Krishna. So the moment you hear about Krishna, what happens? It changes everything. It's melt. It's like the fire touches some ghee. What happens? It's melt. Similarly, the moment you hear somebody hears the name of Krishna, it melts, it transforms that person. And there are a lot of examples out there. Lots of examples. So many devotees joined in our ISKCON. Somewhere or other there, they got 20 years back, 30 years back, 50 years back, they got some connection with some devotees. Or a book, a Srila Prabhupada's book or something like that. After 50 years, such a tremendous transformation happens to their life. So similarly, it transforms. It has such a potency. Then slowly, then we come to know that the science of it. Now we have developed that taste, developed that attachment, raga for the Lord. How? By our sadhana, by our practice. By our practice.
Prabhuji, we can in short we can say if you are in material world, then action and reaction will happen. And if you are in a spiritual world, Krishna's mercy will be happen.
Exactly. Krishna says this. Mahatmanam stumam partha devim prakriti masradaha parambhava majanando. Mahatmanam stumam partha. The great souls are under my protection.
How can you detach from the dvanda? Like
Yes.
when
So-
you
Yes. So when that's why. So we have to slowly practice. So like just for an example, when you have a buttermilk, okay, you have to churn the ghee out of. It's all mixed now. Have you noticed that? How the mothers, they churn the yogurt, and then from the churning the yogurt, you get the very taste butter. When you boil the milk, you don't see this butter. You see even the curd, you don't see this butter. But the moment you start to churn, what happens? This butter comes out. Similarly, the moment we start to chant, hear, associate with devotees, engage in the loving devotional service, hear, and engage in some way or other in this anything that which is kind of. That's why in the Karma Yoga we were about to take that one, but many devotees were not here. The Karma Yoga is called Yoga Mumukshu. That means whatever we do, connect with Krishna. That at least we can do. Okay, you are not dedicated 24 hours, nothing like. But at least whatever we do, offer that to Krishna at least. Do as a sacrifice. Do as a sacrifice to Krishna. So this way, anything that what we do, that we can. Krishna told to Arjuna, Arjuna, you'd fight the war, you execute your war. Tasma sarveshu galeshu mamanismere yuddhecha. Krishna told. But you do your duty, do your fighting, but remember me as an offering to me, as I am doing it for you. So whatever we do, that we all can, everything that we can tell to Krishna, Krishna, I am doing it for you. I am doing this for you. So this way our consciousness is now connected to Krishna, so that way we come out, we transform our material to spiritual.
so let me connect this with the real
Yes,
example.
yes,
So say somebody is doing wrongful to you,
Yeah, okay.
dharma basically, right?
Yeah.
So Kaurava did the dharma.
yes.
So now Lord Krishna is
Intervened,
asking to
intervened,
go
yeah.
for dharma, and he has to do his karma, right?
Yeah.
But while doing that, because somebody is doing wrongful to you,
Mm-hmm.
you still have a dvesh for that. So because it's again a dvand. Although I'm trying to retaliate that because that's my karma, but how can I detach from that dvesh, because that's still in me and that's impurity, right?
Yeah.
So how can I do that?
Yes, good point. Wonderful question. So everybody has certain duties to do. So Arjuna is a Kshatriya by nature. Everybody is some kind of nature they have. When they take birth, so I say that, right? Chadurvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasham. According to their nature and qualities, okay, Chadurvarnyam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasham. According to the qualities and the nature a person takes birth. So this is his quality, this is nature. Arjuna's quality was a Kshatriya. Kshatriya's duty, that's called dharma, to fight. And fight for what? To re-establish the dharma. Fight for the right cause. Kshatriya has to protect everybody. When that's the duty of a Kshatriya. So like that, everybody has their own duty to perform. Maybe we have a husband, we have a duty to perform. We are a wife. who gives all this position, who gave this all nature, is Krishna's arrangement. So when we are into that kind of position, our duty, first of all, to perform that. A Kshatriya has to fight when there is injustice. When Kauravas were injustice, it's the duty of Arjuna, duty of a Kshatriya, the right Kshatriya, to fight against that, to bring that. This is what Krishna was trying to do with Arjuna. And Krishna was telling to Arjuna, it's your duty. But that duty, when you do as an offering to me, as a dharma, that's why it's called sacrifice. You sacrifice it, not thinking that I'm doing it for myself. This is my duty to execute, this is my duty to perform, this is I'm doing for that supreme cause. To re-establish dharma, Arjuna was just an instrument in the hand of Krishna. Krishna was arranging everything. So this is the play of karma again. Kaurava had to go through that karma, their karma. Now, who is going to give that karma's result? Through whom? Through whom? Krishna, but through Arjuna. So Arjuna's nature is a Kshatriya, so he has to fight and protect and give punishment. So this way, this world works. So that means, suppose we have incurred some karma, right? Some way or other, we may get some punishment, we may get some retaliation, we may get some good things or bad things. This is our result of our karma. But that doesn't stop you from worshipping Krishna. That doesn't stop you, even if in the midst of, even so many great sages, they went through so much of difficulties, even though they are worshipping. It's kind of a karma, the play of karma. But there is the effect is very little less. Krishna always protects. Even though Yudhishthira, Krishna was with the Kauravas, Pandavas, but they have to go through the entire forest and struggle and suffer. But ultimately, who victorious? Why it is all arranged like that? Because this is where the bringing that point to, so that to give all the punishment, miscreants, to eradicate all the miscreants. So Krishna made all this arrangement. Isn't it true?
Yeah.
Krishna made all this arrangement, but who took that? Krishna took the Pandavas to go through, and ultimately the Pandavas were, everything was arranged by Krishna. Everything was arranged by Krishna, but it is the point that who took Krishna to do that? Krishna took Pandavas to do it because they are very dear to Krishna. And ultimately, who are they, these Pandavas? They all attained in Krishna's abode and they were doing the personal service to Krishna. In Mahabharata it explains. They were doing personal service to Krishna. Yes, Kauravas went to heaven, or whatever, those who killed in the battlefield. They got their punishment, so they purified. They went to the heaven, but who went to the Krishna and the Golokurdhavan? So when we are with Krishna, in whatever the way, we may have this one, that one, but at any situations, if we are with Krishna, then we are the one. Krishna took that, those who are devoted to him.
But my puzzle is that
Yeah.
when we are retaliating, right?
Yeah.
Someone's wrongdoing full.
Yeah.
And he's incorrect, say for instance, or he or she.
Yeah.
So in that sense, one I see the action which is wrongful.
Mm-hmm.
So I have immediately dvesh for that person, right?
Yeah.
So if we are doing dvesh, then we are also making a karma for
Karma.
us.
Yes.
So we don't want to do that, right?
Yes, yes.
So how do I detach, or how can I stop doing that? That's the real question.
Yes. So this, see, now in the Kali Yuga, in the other ages that we are talking about Arjuna, Krishna, it was on Dwapara Yuga. Kali Yuga basically is difficult to realize that what is our nature. Are we a Kshatriya or are we this one? Or basically everybody is considered as Kalo Shudra. It says that everybody is a Shudra. Everybody is not developed their consciousness. Everybody is in a kind of a Shudra platform. So how do we retaliate? So we don't directly retaliate anything that which we see wrongdoing or somebody rude, things like that. So we have some proper channels to do that. In the sense that, okay, somebody doing something, we get angry. Naturally, we get some angry, but we don't, reciprocate. We don't just go and kill him. We don't just go and slap him. We don't just go and push him. We don't do anything like that. So that's wrong because we are not supposed. That's a law of this country, a law of this nature. We can't do that, or we cannot retaliate anything like that. So what we do, we use our intelligence. That's why Krishna gives us intelligence properly, so that whoever is the right authority to punish them, they will get the punishment. So what we do, we use our intelligence in that sense. So this way, that whoever is the authorized person to do that, they will get it. That's why in this world even, we cannot go and kill anyone. So we have proper people there. In the army man, when he's in the battlefield, he can kill. But the same man come out, and when he's in the home, he cannot kill anybody. So we have a system. So like that, we have a system. We are working in a system. Even though we see, but we are not the one to do that. So we have a system to. So we have to use our intelligence so that those people are actually get punished and get it. So that we have to do that. This is called intelligence. So this is called Krishna consciousness. So, but again, as a devotee, right? Krishna says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we should tolerate, we should have patience, we should have determinations, right? We have to tolerate certain situations. This is the nature of a devotee. Devotee never retaliate, never have this, what is that? This grudges in the heart. They forgive. It's the nature of a devotee sadhu. So we are coming to that platform. This is spiritual. When we come to the spiritual, that's why Brahma Bhuda Prasannatma na shojati na kamshati. When you come to a devotee platform, he sees everything, very equally. And if something comes to him, he takes it as a will of the Lord. He takes it as a will of the Lord. He doesn't retaliate. Anything comes to him, good comes or bad comes, everything he says that this is the will of the Lord. And Krishna knows, because of I am surrendered to Krishna. Now Krishna knows what is best for me. Right? I was hearing this one for some devotees on the World Trade Center attack. Some devotees, they said, okay, I'm not going today. So they saved, or somewhere or other. So Krishna will intervene. Such good or bad or whatever, Krishna knows. We don't even know what we are. Do we know what we are? But Krishna knows what we are. Isn't it? Krishna knows what we are completely 100%. Isn't it true? So all we need to do that, take that, come to this spiritual level platform, surrender to Krishna, then Krishna will take care of. Yeah? Okay. Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Prabhuji, can you repeat that question for the recording, please?
Yes.
What he asked. Can you repeat the question?
So the question was like this, and when we are into this world, somebody does something wrong. So we immediately, do we have to retaliate? Do we have to retaliate to that situation? No, we are not supposed to. If we are a police officer, he can retaliate. He has a right to punish a person. But if we are not, then we have to channelize to the right source so that he can. So this way. But for the devotees, we have to tolerate, we have to have the patience, we have to come to the devotional platform. So you have to become a devotee so that Krishna takes care of us. Now instead of we take care of, Krishna would take care of. That's what is surrender means. Krishna says that Aham tam sarvabhavi mokshe. You don't worry, I will take care of you. As Krishna says. Isn't it? Sarvadharman paritejya mamega sarvam aham tam sarvabhavi mokshe ishamas. Do not worry, I will take care of you. So this is the the benefit, is the advantage that when we become Krishna conscious, become steady, become, Brahma, na kamshati, na shojati, samaha sarva bhudeshu. Even somebody comes and kill us, and of course, we should use our intelligence. It's not that somebody comes, okay, you come and, no. But we pray to Krishna. We pray to the Lord. Lord will be there to protect us in all respect. Lord gives us intelligence. Lord gives us remembrance. Lord gives us forgetfulness. Lord gives us everything. As Krishna says, "Ye dhamam prabadhyante sam sadayo bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarva." I reward them accordingly how they approach me. That's all. The degree of our surrenderness, Krishna also reciprocate accordingly. We are surrendering, we are going to Krishna for 1%. But Krishna take 100 steps. If you put one step, Krishna take 100 steps. But it depends upon what kind of steps we are taking. So Krishna knows better than that, what is best for us. So accordingly, Krishna provides everything. The moment we see Krishna sees that this devotee is so nice, Krishna would give everything. Think about that. We started our temple 2004. Within 10 years, so many devotees, hundreds of brahmanas. When Srila Prabhupada came to Tompkins Square Park, he came alone. Within 2-3 years, hundreds of devotees. They are going to different countries. They are starting temples. Within 10 years, 108 temples. Why this is possible? Who is providing all this? Krishna. Thousands of, now we can see that some were even, they were taking the drugs and the hippies. Completely transformed. When Srila Prabhupada came to New York City for the Yatra, 25,000 people. 25,000 people on the Jagannath Yatra in the New York City. Thousands of followers within short time. Who is sending all these devotees? Krishna. Because of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada has complete surrenderness to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said in the poem, I do not know who is there. I do not know where to turn left or right. So Krishna, I'm depending on completely upon you. I'm your puppet. You put me in this way. I'm your puppet, nothing else. So what happened? It's a miracle, isn't it? Who is providing all this? In the similar way, we think about that. We have so many devotees come. So many devotees. Hundreds of brahmanas now in serving the complete beautiful deity, beautiful Radha Shyamsundar. Beautiful temple, so many devotees. Who is sending all this? Who is providing all this? And our expenditure is so much like 20,000-25,000 is the monthly expenditure. Where is it coming from? Is all providing Krishna. Who else is providing? Who else is taking care of? This word is the degree of the surrender that we have to Krishna. Krishna would take care of no matter what.
So relate to that same question.
Yeah.
So now I understood that you said that whatever is coming, we surrender to the Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
And it's His wish that it's coming to us.
It is coming to us.
Right? So now once we do our action,
Yeah.
then it won't be as a karma because we are surrendering. We are offering.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's how we can get.
We
our
can,
feedback.
yes,
So there
exactly.
will be no raga, there will be
No,
no dvesha.
yes.
So then karma will be none.
That's called a karma. Even anything that we do for the Lord, there is no.
So we offer Him even whatever we are doing.
Whatever we are doing.
In the action of the reaction.
In the action, yes. There is no karma. That's called a karma. That's called Krishna. Action in Krishna consciousness is called a karma.
Right. And one last question I
Yes.
have. You said that there is a lower energy, that's our Panchabhuta.
Yeah.
And the upper energy is our Jivatma.
Jiva.
Right?
Yes. Superior energy.
Superior energy. So is it the Paramatma, Lord Krishna also in this body? or-
Yes. Paramatma is also there.
So,
Paramatma is completely superior.
so it's like the full,
Full first.
like
He is
everywhere, each and every.
everything Paramatma is there.
So,
So everything, because of Paramatma, then everything exists. Because of the superior energy, everything exists.
so is it the Chetna is the Jiva or Chetna is the Paramatma? How do we understand that?
The Jivatma is the portion, part of that Paramatma.
Okay.
Right? That's what is Advaita. Dvaita.
Sorry.
Dvaita means the
You are-
two.
Yes, yeah.
Two of it. Not duality, the two. Twice aspect of it.
Okay.
So Paramatma and the Jivatma is a little part. That's why Mamaiva Amsha. Amsha part of it. So that Amsha has this individual nature or the free will. You get that point? Amsha has this desire to enjoy. Amsha has this desire that I am separate. Amsha has this kind of coming out, okay, I'm false ego. This all coming out as from the individual, the Jivatma part of it. The Lord, the Paramatma part, seeing everything, what this individual soul is doing. Like in the Upanishad, it says that there are two birds sitting in a branch of a tree.
So it is like a Gnata Drashta?
Yes,
I see.
exactly. So, branch of a tree. He is watching, he is monitoring. It's like a child and a father.
I understand.
Father is there, the father is looking, the child, what is the child is doing. Whenever there is a mistake, something happened, father comes and hold him. Till that time, he is free to do. In a house, isn't it? Similarly, the father provides everything to the child. But child has a little freedom to play. Right? And the child has, even though father provides to the child that this toy, child says this toy is mine. Oh, this is my toy. Similarly. So we Jivatma, the Paramatma provides us everything, but we have that kind of nature, that independent nature that, oh, this is mine, this is mine, this is my body, this is my senses. But everything comes from that potency. So that's why we are qualitatively one with the Lord. Qualitatively. But quantitatively we are different. He is Vibhu, he is full, and we are Amsha, we are part of it.
But the mind comes when there is an ego or when there is a
Yeah.
Maya, right?
Yes, yes.
So the Maya portion is there, it's like covering the sun. Like a cloud.
Exactly.
So now the
Material
Jivatma-
energy
right,
covers.
So Jivatma
Yeah.
doesn't know what who he is because of the Maya, right?
Because of material energy covers it.
So how it's a separate Paramatma? So how we realize the Paramatma and how we realize
Exactly. So exactly the moment that we get little spark, so we get this one, like just hear it, right? Somewhere what happens? It's breakthrough, right? That's why when you chant the holy name, what happens? It passes through the senses, it passes through the mind, it reaches to the heart. This is why whenever we have the holy name, it's completely spiritual. Spiritual goes to spiritual. Isn't it? So spirit goes to the spirit, spiritual goes to superior energy goes to spiritual. Superior energy never belongs, contaminate with any inferior energy. That's why we have to be always with the superior energy so that it connects to that. So this way that when it opens, that's why it awakens. Srila Prabhupada says that. It's dormant. But the moment we hear it, it awakens it. Now can realize now that, okay, this makes sense now. Oh, there is a Lord. It comes from everything. Lord provides everything. Everything belongs to the Lord. So this way, we come to that. No, we come to know. Yeah? Okay, thank you so much. Let's stop here. I think that we took a little more time today. Personal time. Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much. Nandira Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.